So this would be part two because I ran out of memory right when I was explaining that. But we'll just go ahead and finish this out. And I left the big play out on the field again because I was going progression reading and not post snap reading. So here, right away, throughout the entire game, he wasn't really, to my knowledge, showing what he was doing post pre snap in regards to pre snap reading. And I believe this was the first time, right? So I'm looking at this, I'm like, is this cover two zone, right? Because that's the pre-snap read. And what I like to do in this situation is to check into my HB draw play. So, well, not an HB run play. And as I'm running the ball, I'm looking at the safeties. I don't even care if I don't get any yardage, right? But, I mean, again, this is a soft box against cover two zone, so the run is always viable against two zone. But while I'm running it, I'm looking at the safeties to confirm if whether or not he was truly in cover two zone, because some players can disguise coverage and run like a single high type coverage, but that looks like cover two zone pre-snap. But when I see this, now I know you were truly in cover two zone. So obviously what I'm going to do is I'm going to no huddle, as I always do. I'm going to check into my cover two zone beating play. Okay, and 99% of the time your opponent will stay in that coverage because of what happened. I got no yardage, so he thinks that the play is good and I might be running the same stuff. And the benefit of this play is it mimics our HB draw play as well. And I've went over this play. Definitely go check it out in my scheme for gun spread wide slot. Against cover two zone, we do have a big play potential here on this deep post. However, you will see pressure force me to almost get rid of the ball prematurely, as you see here. So right here, I'm like, oh, I got to get rid of the ball. But again, this is the benefit of knowing your offense. I throw it slightly early, but the ball is just on the line and on time, right up the middle, and we get a big play for a touchdown. So he goes I form close, and here's another concept I want to throw in there for you guys. So tight formations don't give me problems at all. Last year I made a video series on how to defend gun tight, and I've only just expanded in how I defend it. So in the first video I went over how playing a single high defense, and I showed you cover three cloud is something I like to play, or cover three buzz is something I like to play. And then obviously I mix in some quarter stuff where I play, I believe I made a third video where I either went over pressure from a single high coverage, and then another video where I went over double high coverages where we play one defense on one side of the gun tight formations and then another defense on the other side. And you can do that in double high. One video I played pounder on one side and the box check on the other side. So that was another way to play gun tight type formations. Well, another way to play it is, and obviously with cloud and buzz, the reason why I like those over cover three sky is because when you play cover three sky, we're not hiding our intent, right? So I hate playing cover three sky, or I should say hated in past tense, and I've learned to love it, right? Because of something that I've done while playing cover three sky. So when you play cover three sky, obviously we show, hey, we're in single high, as opposed to cover three buzz and cover three cloud where they show double high and then they rotate into single high post. Okay, and the reason why I don't like this is because, well, now I'm in single high, and from closed sets people run a lot of different things to attack it easily, right? But what I've done is show you here. I've done this where, how about we invert the responsibilities of the second defender in and the outside outer third. Okay, so no, I'm not playing curl flat here. I have to use this player. I'm actually playing the outer third here, and he's playing the flat. Okay, and the reason why I love this is because when you play traditional cover three sky, this second defender in plays horribly, even on flat patterns. Okay, he just kind of plays over the top of it. They just throw that every single time, and they pick up massive gains. And also, like corner routes, curl flat really isn't supposed to play in the window of the corner. Whenever you have a curl flat doing that, it's just not really realistic at all. Okay, But when we invert it, okay, if I were to put him in a hard flat or whatever it is, he's in such better position to play routes running to the flat, okay? And then me as a user, I'm just topping the vertical route, and I'm able to make a lot of good decisions on what my opponent tries to do, okay? Trust me, start incorporating this. Now, obviously, he's in a 21 personnel, okay? I formation, 2 receivers, 2 backs, and 1 tight end, okay? You can't play like a 3-4 or like a base defense like 4-3 or 3-4 and do this. And the reason why that is because your second defender in will be a linebacker, right? And you're trying to user a linebacker over the top of a potential receiver. That's a mismatch. So what I do is, yes, he's an I formation, but I play a nickel formation sky to where I have my defensive back or safety as the second defender in, so I can still utilize this concept. Yes, we are kind of smaller in the second and third level, right? Because we're playing a defensive back against a tight end if they run the ball. However, that's a good trade-off in a pass-heavy game to where most people are trying to throw the ball anyways, okay? And we're able to invert the responsibilities of both of these players and still have a adequate defender on the back end on a receiver. And you will see if you start to run this, you will get people confused. They don't know what's going on. And then when you start incorporating this with cover 1 man, with cover 2 invert that looks like this, pre and post snap, it rotates, it plays actually like cover 2. Actually, we're going to do this in this game. We're going to get an interception. So snap the ball. He's running some play action. And look, we have this guy in the cloud. He can throw here, but he can drive on that. And we're just topping outside on that corner route, right? So it's just not really like an inviting throw. He's playing kind of feathering in between 2 defenders. And he's looking to throw this cross pattern, but I have a really good defensive line that I've built. And I'm telling you, definitely, there's a lot of people who I think put a lot of their abilities on the secondary, the corners and stuff, deep knockout KO. Do yourself a favor. Just try a couple of games to where you put it all on your defensive line. And I almost guarantee you will see way better benefits than putting it on your defensive line. Nothing can simulate a defense with, getting pressure with their front 4, right? You can never simulate that in a way to where you don't take away from the back end, right? If I can get the same amount of pressure with 4 players as you can with 5 or 6, then I just always have the advantage on defense, okay? So he goes gun tight Y off, and this is where I started throwing in cover 2 invert, right? So now, we're adding to the deception. I could be in sky, I could be in cover 1 man, and even when we play those defenses, we still play pretty good on the back end. Here I should have just knocked it away. Whenever you get one-on-one like that, I don't think I should go for the interception. And this is where I'm like, you know what? I want to flip this, because when I play cover 2 invert, I like to play the cloud corner. And the reason why is because I can be a lot more aggressive on routes underneath, because I know I have over-the-top help. Okay, if you watch the video of I'm not going to put it in here, but if you watch the video of the Colts against the Patriots in the 2006 AFC Championship game, the Patriots were up 11-3, and Peyton Manning was driving down the field, and he threw an interception to Asante Samuel on a little curl pattern by Marvin Harrison on the outside. Marvin Harrison ran something like this, and Asante Samuel drove on the ball and intercepted it and ran in for a touchdown. They went up 18-3. And the reason why is because pre-snapped, they looked like, it looks like just like this. It looked like single high. Okay? But then post-snap, it's crazy how that, it's exactly what we're seeing here. But they were in man defense. Post-snap, the deep middle safety buzzed the play over the top of Asante Samuel. And what that allows him to do is it allows him to drive and be very aggressive on underneath routes like the curl. Okay, when Manning was looking at that pre-snap, if it's single high, well, again, as I've always talked about, the outer shell of the coverage cannot be too aggressive on underneath breaking routes. Maybe I should throw that clip in here, but I don't think I will, right? Because if you drive on this and you're wrong, double move up the field, right? Let's just say I'm deep middle and you're deep third. Deep middle, deep third, okay? And he were to run a hitch and go. Post snap, and you drive on that and you're wrong. We pump it, that's just a touchdown. 100% touchdown, right? So the outer shell of a coverage, they're just far more conservative. So what Belichick, what I think he probably, designed for that moment. Maybe they saw something with the film, I don't know. I remember Manning going over that and he said, dude, I was fooled. And he always took pride in never being fooled. He always, said, hey, if I threw an interception, I wanted it to be because I made a bad throw or the ball slipped, but never because I was not prepared. And he said that was the one moment to where he felt like he was just fooled. He felt, because that's what Belichick does. And he showed single high, so, it wouldn't look like he would be aggressive on this route. But in actuality, he was playing deep half, and then he drove on the ball for the interception. Okay, so definitely go check out that video. I think Phil Simms was commentating on it as well. And even Phil Simms spoke about how this guy was playing deep half, which allowed him to drive on that, right? So we're doing the same thing here, right? That's why I love to play cloud flat and cover 2 invert, because it looks as if, it's single high. But in actuality, I'm able to play a lot more aggressive on routes underneath. So I believe I get an interception here. So he snaps. So, I'm just playing outside shoulder. I'm looking at this the whole time, knowing I can drive on it because I have over the top help with the safety. He throws it, I have outside leverage, I drive on it, and that's just an absolute clinic. So I think that was it. I ran the ball again, and I think that's where he got pissed off because he just noticed, look, man, this guy's just going to take what the defense gives him, and, he just had enough. So he went ahead and quit the game. So I hope you got something from this video. I hope you keep coming back. Definitely check out my video on cover 1 in regards to playing it a little bit more effectively in the game of Madden. And I hope you start incorporating that invert stuff with the cover 3 sky. And don't be afraid to user the corners, guys. I'm one of those guys who will use the corner, the backer, the safety. Doesn't matter if it's man or zone. When you begin to start using anybody on the field, you can kind of make your defense play a lot better. I'll leave it at that. I hope you keep coming back, man. Peace.